A very good evening to you all. I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
A warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to the first ever IIK Talks with our expert panelists, Mr. Premkumar and Dr. Navniit Gandhi. A warm welcome to Mr. Premkumar and Dr. Navniit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Today's talk is a conversation on the future of education and the well-being of our children. As you all know, today, when this COVID-19 is taking all of us to an uncertain time, a kind of break has been applied to our normal life. A lot of concerns have emerged from all walks of life, whether it is health or education, about entertainment, whatever it is. So today we, IIKIndianSyndicator.com, is organizing this IIK talk to address these concerns from the community for the community members, where we will get answers from the experts in their respective fields. Today, majority of our parents have big concerns about the education of their children. Because as you all know, all schools are closed and we don't know when it's going to open. And all schools have already started online classes. And many parents have some worries because online class is something new for them. We bring this opportunity where you can discuss and share all these concerns and get answers and right views from the experts. We have Mr. Premkumar, who doesn't need much introduction, especially for the parents here. He is the principal of Indian Educational School, or popularly known as Bhavan's Kuwait. He had also received the Best Teacher Award from CBSE in 2017. He was appointed as a telecounselor for CBSE students in Kuwait for the past several years. Welcome, Mr. Premkumar.
Thank you, Mr. Sinoj.
We also have Dr. Navniit Gandhi. Let me call my colleague, Mr. Wilson, to introduce Dr. Navniit. Mr. Wilson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Crawford Wilson. And good evening to Mr. Premkumar and Navniit. Welcome on IIK Talks. It's a pleasure to have you all on board.
Good evening, Wilson.
Yeah. Introducing Dr. Navniit Gandhi, as Sunoj said, Mr. Premkumar does not require introduction. Similarly, Dr. Navniit Gandhi also doesn't require any introduction, especially to the IIK, because she has been writing so many articles and we have got such good reviews about her articles. Today, just to introduce her, Dr. Navniit Gandhi is an academic, a feature writer, and a trainer counselor. Her publications include several academic papers presented at national and international conferences, seminars, nearly 250 feature articles in magazines, newspapers, and on web portals, 2 e-booklets, and 9 books. Presently, she teaches at the Indira Gandhi National Open University, that's IGNOU, and counsels and conducts training workshops. Welcome, Dr. Navniit Gandhi, to this panel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we start, we have some ground rules. Okay, we have muted all the attendees, so as such, you all cannot speak out. Okay, but if you all have any questions to the panelists, you all can type in your chats. We can have a look at it, and if the questions are not covered in this topic during the course of this session, then we will raise it up with the panelists. Whatever the questions which are not answered. And this session is for 1 hour. And if you all have any technical fault, in the sense like you all cannot hear the audio, we suggest that you log out and log in again. Okay. And if there's a major glitch, as in that you all cannot hear us or anything, which is overall glitch about the program, our technical department will look into it and we will take care of that. Okay. So to begin the session, let me ask the first question to Dr. Navniit. Before I start the session, I'll ask Navniit Gandhi and Dr. Premkumar to just start the session, and then we'll dive into the main session. Dr. Navniit Gandhi,
Yes.
over to you.
Thank you, Wilson, for the warm intro. And thank you, Sunoj, and the entire IIK team for this brilliant initiative at engaging in very meaningful conversations on a wide range of topics, which I'm sure are going to touch all our lives, even the subsequent sessions that you are likely to have, and all the best for them. And hello, Mr. Premkumar. It is always a pleasure to get any opportunity to chat with you, even if it is for a brief while. And I also extend a warm welcome to all the attendees. Looking back at what all of us have gone through in the past 4 months, I believe that in the life of an idea, in the life of a person, in the life of a relationship, in the life of an institution, there always comes a point of time when everything about it changes. The changes are massive, and all of us at some point of time or the other do undergo those changes, and that is how evolution occurs. I look at COVID-19 as a pandemic which has been a huge trigger of a lot of changes in almost every walk of life, as Sunoj pointed out in the beginning. Changes which we have seen in interpersonal relationships, changes in international relations, changes in the way we work, changes in the way, and of course, the latest being the changes in the amounts that we are going to earn. Changes in our lifestyles are going to be inevitable. A lot of economic changes which will trigger it. I mean, it has begun as a medical issue, but then eventually it will become an economic issue, and then it will become a political issue, and then it will trigger a wave of reactions and changes subsequently in every walk of life. I still recollect that as soon as the schools were shut down, I'm going to start by asking Premkumar sir, that as soon as the schools were shut down, the initial reaction was of euphoria. And even adults, when we came to know that we were not supposed to go to offices for a day or two, we were happy. It was like an unexpected break and an unexpected holiday. So, sir, being the head of a premier institution in Kuwait, I'm sure that before the panic set in and before the questions followed that what will happen and will syllabus be completed and will I be allowed to appear for my entrance test? What was the initial reactions that you witnessed amongst your staff and your fraternity and the students and their parents, sir?
Good evening, Dr. Navniit Gandhi.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Sunoj and Mr. Wilson.
Good evening.
It is indeed a proud moment, a privilege to be talking to esteemed parents of the Indian schools in Kuwait. And I want to thank Mr. Sunoj and Mr. Wilson for having taken this initiative to come out with such an outstanding platform for interacting remotely with parents whom I have not seen for the last 3 months. Well, to cut short the story about what Dr. Navniit Gandhi asked me, March first week was like an earthquake, I should say, for all of us at the Indian schools in Kuwait. Because that was a week when we were informed about the closure of all the schools. And for all the Indian school teachers and Indian school principals, Indian school parents, this came up as a shock because education in India occupies the topmost priority in every family. Rich and the poor, they would like their kids to be educated, as education is invaluable. And when a school closed, and it was an indefinite closure, for us to prepare and get the lessons on was definitely initially an uphill task. And missing students from school is something which no teacher or no principal can absorb. And it was really a shock. But as you know, challenges are to be converted into opportunities.
Yes.
So we looked at opportunities as you were speaking a while ago, and we console ourselves saying that, yes, we can still teach our kids. And that's
Yes.
what we are doing. Yes.
Yes. And today, when rather 3 months have passed, how do you look at the scene now?
Yeah, that's a very exciting question, because all of us, that includes me as head of the institution, we have never had the experience of an online teaching in our
Okay.
career,
Yes.
right? And to get used to it and to prepare for that was the first challenge that all teachers and all the principals in Kuwait had in front of them. And I should say today that all the teachers have equipped themselves very well, and we are quite happy with the progress of these online classes. So today I can say that I'm a very satisfied principal, and my teachers are quite very happy to teach the kids through a new novel method.
Okay, that is nice, and it's really great that the schools have risen to the challenge and risen to the occasion. And I'm sure that we are going to learn a lot from all of this.
Yes, true.
True, true.
Okay, that was a really good warm-up session between Mr. Premkumar and Navniit Gandhi. And the message, I just loved the message which I would like to take home is challenges into opportunities. Yes, it is a challenge. It is a challenge. We have to take it, make it into an opportunity, which all of us, we should learn from what this pandemic has taught us. To begin with, we have got questions, concerns from our parents, which is raised up by our readers. So I'll begin with Dr. Navniit Gandhi. My first question will go out to Dr. Navniit Gandhi. A lot of parents have concern about the online education. Okay, how do you look at the overall scene of online education, the pros and cons, Dr. Navniit Gandhi? Your perspective.
Very well, since we have begun itself on a note which revealed to us through through Mr. Premkumar that the pros have been already seen. And when I look at the overall scene, I feel that number one is that in these moments of panic and turbulence, the semblance to order was restored by the schools when they geared up for this challenge of online education. Because not only is it very important to maintain continuity in the teaching learning process, but at the same time, for good mental health, it is very essential that routines continue. Even when we are in the middle of a war or middle of a crisis, middle of any big challenge, it is very important that there should be some semblance to order. Some routines have to be maintained which calm us down, and then we are able to focus on the other challenges of life. So schools, by rising to the occasion and immediately gearing up for this challenge of continuing with the classes by providing online teaching, I think that is the biggest pro here, the biggest benefit which online education. Imagine if our kids were doing nothing for 4 months and were aimless, and the panic would have been greater at home, and the parents would not have been able to focus on their work from home requirements and their challenges. Number two, I feel that going beyond school education, if you look at the larger picture that online education is, I feel that a lot of adults during this 4-month period also had a lot of access to a lot of courses. They were able to find courses which were free. They were able to find courses which were reasonably priced. And a lot of adults all over the world have certified themselves. They have found 21-day courses. They have found 40-day courses. They have got certifications. They have equipped themselves with new skills. They have upgraded their knowledge, whether it is corporate leadership courses or courses in Indian history and heritage or courses in education management. So a lot of things became accessible for us, which were earlier our dreams that one day I would do a course if I ever get time. And the third, therefore, the third pro and the benefit is that the width has expanded. the width in terms of learning opportunities has expanded. But at the same time, I find, because I am perhaps a very traditionalist person with conventional thinking, so I find that even if the width has expanded, it is good for the time being and for a short-term period. But in the long run, it may not be my choice because the depth is missing. The width is there, but the depth is amiss, which I'm sure Mr. Premkumar sir will also agree with me that, the spark which is there with the presence of a teacher in a classroom, which is alive and not a virtual classroom, that spark is missing. That warmth which the presence of a teacher exudes, that warmth is missing. And for the kids, of course, the friends are missing, the fun is missing, the fights, and those moments when we raise our hands and answer a question and the others are looking at us all wide-eyed that, I'm the only one who knows the answer. So the sense of pride will not happen in that virtual classroom. So yes, pros and cons are there. And let's see that when all of this continues for a longer period of time, which I hope not myself, that it doesn't continue for a very, very long period, and that we come back to real, alive, and full of life classrooms. But let's see how things take up from here.
Yes, well said, Navneet, Dr. Navneet. Yes, the pros and cons are always there, and the concerns of the parents are also growing with that. Okay, and the other question which we come up to is, what about kids with poor attention span? Is online education good or not for them?
I think here we cannot make a very generalized and a sweeping statement because every kid is different. There are kids who find it very difficult to maintain their attention and they get easily distracted in a classroom, because what happens is that they are required to pay attention visually also and auditorily also. Like they have to look at the teacher, they have to look at the board, they have to pay attention to what is being said. And they are getting distracted also both ways. They are getting distracted with their other classmates. They are getting distracted if some other girl is giggling or a boy is, up to some mischief. So the attention really suffers. So for those kids, when they sit alone in a room with a PC in front of them and they are just listening to the teacher, they can even close their eyes and listen well. The teacher is not going to punish them if the eyes are closed. So in that case, the performance may improve, the attention may be better. But there could be similarly vice versa, kids who may be able to focus better when they look at the face of a teacher and the teacher is speaking. And when they sit alone in a room and they're sitting in front of the computer, they may not be able to hold the attention. They'll get distracted. They look at their room, they look at the bed is inviting, what is mommy doing in the kitchen? And there may be a glass of juice on the table. Lot of things may prove to be distractive, and their performance may decline and attention also. So I think it differs from kids to kids. I have seen kids who were not doing that well in school, but their performance has improved after they have been exclusively, being in that it is like a one-to-one teacher-student relationship, which is going on, even if it is virtual. So we cannot say that which will be better, that time alone and over a period of time, if online education continues, we'll be able to understand better.
Yes, Navneet, being a parent, I surely identify with these issues which our kids are going through. And thanks for your feedback on that. Now I'll ask Mr. Sunoj if he has any questions to the panel.
Yes, Mr. Wilson. Actually, we have received a lot of questions about the exams and students and their exams, especially for the board exams for class 10 and 12 students. My question is to Premkumar. Many parents are concerned about the 12th and 10th and 12th students and how they are going to appear for the board exam in 2021. They're feeling like this online classes cannot prepare the students for the examination. What do you feel about that? How they can cope up with this? How they're going to conduct the board exam?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Sunoj, for that. I think it is an expected question when we have a panel discussion of this kind. Schools in Kuwait and in most of the Gulf states generally start the classes for grades 10 and 12 in the first week of March and a few in the last week of February. This year too, most of the schools follow the same strategy. Due to unexpected closure of schools due to the ongoing pandemic, we have to resort to remote learning from the very beginning. of the session of class 10 and 12. Teachers teaching these classes are more concerned about their students' performance in the board examination always, be it pre-COVID time or the present time. And all of them, they walk that extra mile to prepare their students for the CBSE examination. There's no doubt about it. Teachers have put in a lot of efforts in making presentations and practice papers for these kids. And some of them are even evaluating their assignments that they have submitted, which is not that very easy. But teachers are doing it so that these kids are prepared for the final examination that will happen in March 2021, if everything goes well. Online classes certainly prepare the kids for the examination if students also realize the crisis that the world is facing today and that there is no alternate solution to this. The pace with which the teachers teach during the online classes is definitely not the same as during the normal classroom teaching. Students of class 10, class 9 onwards, they start preparing for the JEE and NEET examination during the pre-COVID times using the online coaching sitting in the Gulf states. They enroll themselves with reputed institutions and the classes like the Byju's, and they prepare very seriously. And some of them have made it, and they are pursuing medicine and engineering today. And those are the kids who realize that sitting in the Gulf countries, they can't probably have the facility of going to a PC Thomas class regularly or attend a Bansal's coaching class in Kota regularly or Narayana's in Hyderabad. So they take the online classes very seriously, and during the crash course that they have in summertime, they improve their level of understanding by one-to-one interaction with the professors. Even when the schools were open, many students had enrolled for online coaching classes here in Kuwait, and they are doing well. If students want to clarify doubts using the online platform used for classroom, teacher can still support the students at any given time. This kind of learning demands active involvement of students who are very committed and they are very goal-oriented. This is what I have got to say about the preparation for 10 and 12 that's happening in Kuwait today. I think I'm muted.
Thank you, Mr. Premkumar. At the same time, the parents also have the same concern. Hello?
Yes. Yeah. You're audible now.
Yes.
Sonoj,
You can hear now?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. The parents have the concerns whether the schools will be able to complete the portion for 10th and 12th standards. Or are you making some other efforts on this one?
Yes, this is another very serious concern of parents, teachers, and also people in the CBSE. So this concern is not just here in Kuwait, Mr. Sanoj. It's across all the 22,000 CBSE schools in India and abroad. CBSE has sensed this even before the parents raised this query, and they have planned to truncate the syllabus in class 10 and 12. End of this month, CBSE will inform all the schools about this decision and the topics they will delete so as to make the syllabus completion smooth and stress-free for the kids. I hope this answers the query of those parents who are worried about syllabus completion. I can only assure them that the syllabus will be truncated and there will be reduction in the number of topics that they have to study for the board examination that they will take in March 2021. This decision we will get to know by end of this month. I hope I answered that question, Mr. Sinoj.
Okay, thank you. Also, you might be knowing that in Kuwait, especially in Kuwait, in March, there was some exams we missed, the parents missed here. How they are going to consider this one while allotting the marks for the subjects which are missed by the students here in Kuwait due to lockdown?
Yes, very unfortunate that the students in Kuwait had to miss a large number of papers, except one in the case of class 10, but class 12 kids missed some of their favorite subjects. It's quite unfortunate, but it is not just in Kuwait. It has happened in all the Gulf states in class 12, definitely. And the day we realized that the remaining papers are not going to be conducted in Kuwait, the principals of all the Indian schools, under the leadership of the convener of Kuwait chapter, Mr. Ajit Kumar of UIS, had a meeting with the Indian ambassador and apprised him of all these difficulties. I'm sure Indian embassy has taken up the concerns expressed by us here and all other principals in the GCC with the Education Ministry and CBSE. And on 1/4/2020, CBSE issued a circular officially informing us about their inability to conduct the examination and that the marks would be given to students for the papers they missed. Last week, the principals of the Gulf states had a meeting with the Secretary of CBSE, Mr. Anurag Tripathi, and we raised this point and he has assured us that they have formulated a plan to award marks by looking into the marks of the subjects the students appeared, the practical marks they scored, and the internal assessment marks that they have been given by the schools. The assurance is that all the decisions taken will be favoring the students, and the schools and parents and students should not be worrying about this. That's the answer to this question, Mr. Sinoj.
Okay, that's great. Also, Mr. Premkumar, we have a lot of questions regarding the NEET and JEE examination. How the students can appear for this examination in this scenario,
Yes.
in this situation?
Correct. After the concern about the marks of for subjects the students missed, the parents' next concern definitely was about the NEET and JEE, and they used to write to us. Our parents used to write to us, call us to ask us. This too was a concern for many students, not just in Kuwait, but across the Gulf countries and their parents. Now, I understand representation from parents through Indian embassies and some through the regional associations, and we principals at our own level have taken to the CBSE, and ultimately all these concerns reached the body that is conducting the NEET and JEE, which is called the National Testing Agency. Now, from the dates that is fixed now for the conduct of JEE and NEET exam, which is around 18th of July for JEE starting, and the 26th of July for the NEET, I understand that the Education Ministry expects that the students from the Gulf countries, through the Vande Mataram flights that are on these days, can reach India and get ready for the examination, which will be held in the month of July, around 3rd week. I must say that these kids who are going to take this NEET exam and JEE are blessed by the Almighty, because they had time from March 1st week until the end of June or even 2nd week of July to rigorously prepare, sitting in Kuwait and some of them in India, and appear for these examinations and do well. And I'm sure this time there will be more number of students who can qualify for the NEET examination because of this time that they had. You see how
Yes.
one handicap leads to the benefit of the students in another way. So I don't think they will have any difficulties. And I understand from my fellow principals in the Gulf countries, about 50% of students have already reached India and they're getting ready for the NEET exam. So why worry? Not to worry.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Premkumar. I hope the majority of the queries from these parents are now answered by Mr. Premkumar. Thank you very much for your time. Mr. Wilson, you have anything?
Sinoj. I have a question for Dr. Navniit Gandhi. As we know, this pandemic and this lockdown has taken its toll on our emotional and physical aspect for adults, including the kids also. But the concern of the parents is more towards the kid. About themselves, it is there. But how are these kids going to take that physical and emotional part of it, aspect of it? What do you feel according to you? How are they going to handle it?
To begin with, I'm glad that the panel discussion is so very comprehensive enough that it is covering the academic stress as well as the emotional and mental well-being of the students. So the discussion is holistic that way. Physically and mentally, the impact has been there, and the bigger impact, which I worry sometimes, will be felt in the months to come. Physically, we all of us are aware that our kids were sitting and they were eating. So all the love which all the mothers have for their kids found their way to the stomach, and courtesy the YouTube channels, which have a plethora of recipes, and a lot of maida and a lot of oil and a lot of sugar has found its way into the tummies of our young kids. And they have not been doing anything. There has been no play, no movement, and that has been a cause of concern. I'm aware of a couple of children who have fallen sick in this period. They have been vomiting and have had to be taken because there was a lot of stuffing in and there was no movement. But at the same time, there were families which were insisting on the kids going up and down the stairs and doing the sit-ups and the push-ups and the yogasanas and the pranayam, the deep breathing and so on. So, but here again, we are looking at one section of the kids when we say that they were stuffing themselves with delicious stuff, which may not have been healthy. But there is this entire section of kids which were or who were deprived of nutrition because the parents could not spend a lot on fruits and vegetables during this period. So we have the lower middle classes where the probably the cab drivers or the saloon workers or those working as gardeners or daily wage earners who could not earn for the past 3-4 months, and therefore their kids have also suffered physically due to lack of nutrition. And at the same time, mentally, if we see, I think the impact is more worrisome because this pandemic has been about death. It has been about disease. It has been about loss of jobs. It has been about cuts in the salaries. It has been about a lot of negativity, primarily, whether the negativity came in through the media or whether we discussing with each other, we saying that the systems are useless, we saying that our government has not done, we feeling very, very anxious ourselves. And we think that we are able to very successfully protect our kids from all of that stress. We think that we are keeping the stress to ourselves and we are giving a very normal life to kids. But I disagree with that, because I feel that we are thick-skinned and yet the stress gets on to us, whereas they are kind of made up of several porous layers and the stress seeps into their psyche much more faster than it does to us. And children may not say it very often, but I'm sure there are hundreds of fears in their minds that whether, as Premkumar sir was saying, I mean, academic fears, anxieties. So if I'm in 10th standard and my father has lost his job, or he has not earned a penny for 4 months because he was in a profession, let's say in the hospitality industry or in industries which were very badly affected. So what is going to be my future? Are we going to be on the road? Are we, or if those, imagine the plight of those kids who have seen a death, in the family, and the rest of the family members were hospitalized, including the kids themselves. So a lot of hospitalization, lot of social isolation, and even the social distancing is not very natural and normal to human beings. We are not meant to be living. I mean, distancing and isolation is a punishment for us, whether we punish our prisoners with solitary confinement or we punish our kid by telling him to stand outside the classroom in isolation and away from others. So this social distancing has had its own anxieties created, and at the same time, lot of worries, lot of discussions and panic and fear generated by the media, plus the frowns and the wrinkles, and plus the anxiety of the parents. If the parents have been shouting and screaming at each other, or there are several stories I have heard from my city, Mumbai, wherein children living in small settlements, shanties, very, very cramped rooms. There is a a senior citizen suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, and the father is trying to work from home, the mother is feeling the pressure, the heat, the overloading of things, and the child is finding it difficult to focus on the online classes. So a lot of physical stress which gets into mental stress, a lot of ways in which, like we heard about the girl who committed suicide in Kerala, apparently because could not get access to online learning and education. So a lot of things are there in it together. And I wish we as parents and educators would have worked a bit in these direction and prepared our kids. I'm sure as the discussion goes further, we'll discuss on this, that how and what we should have done as parents and educators. But yes, the stress has been there and will be there.
Yes, I agree. Now, another stress which is there, which is hovering on everybody's mind, is what is next?
Yes,
will the online
the
be
uncertainty.
the norm, as you were discussing in the beginning, and the new viewers are joining in? Everybody's thinking, what is going to be the next? Is this online going to be the norm? Do you envisage that in the future, or?
There is, I feel, online learning is going to happen. But as I said in the beginning, being a person who has been deeply influenced by teachers and by classmates and by a very enriching atmosphere in schools and colleges, I would still vouch for traditional learning in a proper classroom. But the importance of technology cannot be denied. And of course, the only thing is that let us not get obsessed with that. We can use technology as a tool, as an aid to learning. So if I'm learning about the digestive system and if somebody shows me a video on that, I learn better. But that does not mean that I just keep looking at videos and I just keep looking at the screen and there is nobody around me to pat my shoulder or to give me reassurance or to teach me properly. So I think that there are societies, there are individuals who are going gaga over the fact that technology is going to be the future. I appreciate that there are technology driven societies which are very efficient societies. But over the years, psychology has also proven that extreme addiction to standardization, which is also called as McDonaldization in the corporate terms, but extreme automation, extreme standardization destroys human ingenuity. We are more frustrated when we are not making mistakes, when we are not acting as human beings or social beings. So therefore, I hope that technology remains, but it remains as an aid, an integral part of our learning process, and that it does not, become an alternate to real learning or traditional learning, or rather classroom learning. Because I'm sure even if Roger Federer or Virat Kohli had to play an indoor match in a closed room as a court or as a stadium, they can do it once or they can do it twice if the compulsion arises, but the electrifying presence of the audience has to be there. Without that, there is no point in playing a game. So similarly, I feel the same as far as the learning process is concerned.
So very true, Dr. Navneet, and we hope that this norm doesn't continue for the betterment of our kids, and we socialize more and forget about this social distancing. But we have to live with it for now. Sunoj, any questions you have for the panel?
Yes, actually on the same subject, same line, like Dr. Navneet was saying, the technology is an aid for learning. Many parents are asking, what is about the small students on primary classes, whether the remote learning is efficient for primary students, and what age can students start e-learning? Mr. Premkumar, can you give any suggestion?
Yes, a good question indeed. See, the picture of instruction, that online instruction, has emerged since the coronavirus forced students and teachers to remote learning. It is very clear and troubling too, as I can feel from the questions that are sent to IIK to be posed to us. We are all very sentimental about what kids are going through right now. But at the end of the day, this world will still expect these kids to perform.
Yes.
Now the question is, how will the kids perform? To answer that question, we have to provide them an opportunity. And the right opportunity is to expose kids to the world of technology. And I'm sure you sitting out there and all the parents who are attending will certainly agree with me if I say our primary kids, they are more tech savvy than we are. Kids as old as 2 years can unlock the phone and they can play a video of their choice by going to YouTube and they can search. This happens. I've seen it.
That's true.
And my experience the last month and a half, listening to the primary kids doing the online classes. When I say primary kids, I include the 3.5-year-old KG kids of my school, is that they are enjoying and looking forward to each and every class. Because for most of them, the parents they used to hide the phone, or they never used to allow them to touch their computers. But today, these kids are so happy that they are in front of the computer and they're able to see their friends at least online. Otherwise, they'll miss even this joy. And they can talk to their teacher whom they love most. And I've seen that these classes are taken very, very passionately by the kids. And I must thank all the parents who have supported these kids. And I think a joint venture of parents, teachers, and students have made this learning experience a memorable one. And I'm sure when these kids return to school, they will still miss the fun that they had during their online classes. I don't think age is a barrier for these classes, because today, as I have seen kids, when they come for the PTMs, the parents hand over their phones to them while they want to attend to their teachers, and these kids are using the phone lavishly. So who says that there's an age bar for kids to learn? There is no age bar. And learning here is through stories, through action songs, through rhymes, and through questioning. And this kind of learning experienced by the kids at this age will certainly make them as wonderful learners in the future when they go to the West and they are forced to take these online classes. So I don't think the kids are suffering much, but yes, at the same time, excessive use of anything will have its negative impact. But then we are cautious when we do this. So that's my reply to the parent who asked these questions.
Yes, that's very true. Nowadays, kids are smarter than us.
Yes.
At the same time, many parents have concerns about the time, the long hours they are spending online for the online classes, whether it will affect, how it will affect their health.
Very interesting, but a counter, if I may ask, don't children watch a movie for 3 hours? Don't they watch cartoons sitting in front of the television for hours and hours? So does this 2 hours of online class or a 2.5 hours of online class with the gaps in between, break in between, should it tax them so much? A question that I can ask, because if you look at the school scenario now, in a class of 25, 15 of them are wearing glasses. Okay, I'm not saying that all the 15 are wearing glasses because they are addicted to the television screen or mobile or iPad, or I'm not saying that, but definitely some of them are. So if at home they are habituated to watching movies and playing computer games and things for hours together, learning for their own good should it be considered as a negative trait? No. They can definitely take it positive and prepare themselves as future learners, because this is an opportunity for them to prepare for the future, 5 years from now. This will be their mode of learning, and our kids will be the smartest by then, I'm sure. Yes.
Yes, that's very true. Only thing is we need to take it in the right spirit.
Yes, very true indeed.
Sunoj here, I have a question for Dr. Navniit Gandhi, where our readers are concerned about, especially the teachers and parents, like how to handle this situation, this current situation, especially keeping in mind the kids' good, healthy living and as well as learning style. You know, both. They think it's been touched here and there, but if you could elaborate more, Dr. Navniit Gandhi, so it can be a guidance for the parents and kids, teachers especially.
Yes, picking up the thread from where Premkumar sir has just said, the school is doing its part, which I think all of us must appreciate and agree with, that the routine is maintained, the order is maintained, the learning has not stopped. And as he said, our kids will be expected to perform. So it's very important that the learning is not disrupted. So I agree with him there. As parents, I feel that while we are trying to create an atmosphere that everything is fine and everything is normal, I look at it this way, that we should have reacted a bit differently to this pandemic than the way we have. And that I say, not looking at you or me. I mean, your family or my family and the families that I know are probably comfortable and fine, and our salaries are there and jobs are there, and we have not suffered much. I mean, may God give good health to the families of everyone, but we have not suffered much. But at the larger picture, if you see, I feel that as soon as this pandemic broke, as soon as we got some idea that there is going to be an issue which is going to become larger and larger, we had already seen by then what had happened in Italy and Spain and China as well. I feel that as parents, we should have kind of looked at the picture in a holistic way, understood the constraints, understood, foreseen the consequences, understood the economic impact as well or as modestly as we could have, and then taken our kids into confidence. We could have, put our arm around their shoulders and told them that, see, challenges will come in the lives of all of us at least 3 to 4 times in a lifetime. This is probably the first challenge that we are going to face as a family. Probably there may be, I could be at home, your mom could be at home, or, you will be at home, you will be missing your school, missing your friends. So a challenge has come, and we must react to this challenge. We must remain in good health. We must remain physically active. We must give a lot of importance to those 2 hours which the schools are preparing for us for online learning. And even if we go less shopping later, even if we lose our resources a little bit, even if we get angry at each other once in a while, we must go together or go through this crisis together. There will be times when I will be under pressure, when your mom could be under pressure. There will be times you will feel anxiety and the pressure of completing the assignments. You are not going to get out of the house. You may miss your friends. You may get lonely. I may get lonely. But this is the picture. This is the challenge. The effect of this picture or challenge will not be visible just in this month, but in the next 1 year. So let us all be together in this. Let us take this as a challenge. We could have probably played the movie Life is Beautiful, in which the guy takes his kids living in the concentration camp. He tries to make it all look like a game, and the child slides through that crisis or challenge beautifully. So that is one thing. And I'm sure that parents are doing their part. It is not that, but I feel that this could have added. There are a lot of children, and I have also spoken with, who have felt very anxious. What will be the future? What will be the future? What if dad has lost his business? What if mom has lost his job? And how are we going to manage? I'm in 10th standard. Is my future in jeopardy? And so on and so forth. As teachers, I feel while we are doing our best, all the teachers are taking good care of the kids, and they have geared up for this challenge. They've never done online teaching before, but yet they are doing it so well. Here, I'm just reminded of a small incident which I would like to share. I hope there is time that we, can I share a little incident?
Yeah, we have 10 minutes there. And Sunoj, you have some questions more?
Yes,
You
I
like
have some more questions.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll skip the incident part, but I feel that the teachers also, while completing the syllabus, we could have gone, probably there are teachers who have gone one step beyond that and spoken to the kids about this overall scene, about the past, present, future of this pandemic as it looks like, how it has unfolded, or how and what kind of situations will it lead to, and how we also need to think and pray for those who are affected, and even if we are not. And to take and look upon this crisis, even when they grow up, they should look back at it and not just remember the good foods and the syllabus which was completed, but that they should feel that they have become a bit wiser, a bit stronger. They have been able to tide over this crisis period, and they feel more confident about handling the crisis which may come in their lives later. We may not be there for them in all the crisis situations that they may face, even if this one is a very minor one and has not affected all of us, but we could have kind of made them stronger and wiser and better with our talks, stories, whatever parents and teachers together could have played a role. And probably some of us are doing that already.
That's a great advice, Dr. Navneet. Over to Sunoj. Sunoj, if you have the questions.
Yes, now coming back to academics again, I have some more questions to Mr. Premkumar. The main questions which are coming is like about the universities, how they are going to consider the admission for the first year degree program this year for the universities.
Yeah, you see now, since everything is online, I'm sure the admission to universities is happening online at the moment. And once admissions are through, and in the universities, the classes don't start regularly, even they will have online classes. So our students have to take the online lectures wherever they are. Now, you know that students who are studying in US, UK, France, Germany, they all are returned back to Kuwait, but they are still studying here.
Yes.
And they have to appear for their examination online. So that is the order of the day now. I don't think there will be any looking back about the admissions into universities this year. They will still continue with the same plan as the online education in schools. So I hope by August we'll come to know what is the status of admission into various universities.
Okay. Now coming to the same subject, just now I received one question from one of the attendees in the chat. It's asking about the current status of admission 2020 in Indian schools in Kuwait. Is it the same status or?
I want a little more clarity about the status. What is the meaning of status? Is it talking about the number of students in Indian schools, or are the Indian schools admitting students?
I believe he is asking about the admission for the new student, new KG classes. Whether it will be going to start in September or?
I think subject to the availability of seats in the schools will decide.
Okay.
As of now, we are admitting students, but I can't say about September, which is about 2 months away from now, or 3 months away from now. So
okay.
As of now, when the seats are there, we do give admission, and I'm sure all are giving admission to schools.
Okay. Now the major question is like when are the schools going to reopen in Kuwait for normal teaching? And how safe is it to send the students to school post-COVID time?
Very difficult question, the toughest question that you have asked me today, because that doesn't lie in my hands, and it has to get the approval of first the coronavirus itself. It allows students to be safe in our school compound walls, classrooms. Secondly, the authorities in Kuwait, starting from the Ministry of Health to Ministry of Interior and then the Ministry of Education, several ministries have to take a very wise decision to get the kids back to school. We all want our kids back in school, no doubt about it. Now our whole school, I can just say, is only a building out there. It is not a school anymore. Till we hear the hustling, buzzing noise of the kids, it doesn't become a school. So we all want it to be a school once again, is our prayer to the Almighty God. But if you ask me, when will the schools reopen, I really cannot tell you, and the parents here, when the schools will reopen. It is not in our hands, but if you are given permission, we will be back into action. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of restrictions at the time. And about safety, you asked a very important question, how safe it will be. Again, a question, very tough one to answer, because we are not sure by then the vaccine will be available, and will all the kids be vaccinated, and will all of them be safe? Is a very big question mark. So we have to wait. Time alone will tell us when that will happen.
Okay, thank you. That's right. Mr. Wilson,
I think
do you have anything?
so. I have got one question, but we have just got 4 minutes left. If Navneet, if you can answer in just 1 minute, because I need to wind up the session. And the audience, this question is from the audience regarding the vacations which are coming up. Quickly, in 1 minute, can you guide what the kids can do in this vacation time so that they can make the best utilization of their time? If you can guide them, just in a minute.
I hope that there is less nagging, and there are less pressures, and there are less instructions from the parents, and at the same time the kids are given more chores at home, more responsibility, and at the same time, if you could tell them to focus on the left side of the brain one day and indulge in mental puzzles, and on the right side of the brain, singing, reading, dancing, on some other day, pamper their bodies, take care of their stomach, take care of their social skills. Maybe we can make them talk with their relatives twice or thrice in a week, and parents can plan that how they would like to focus on their spiritual growth, on their mental, their physical, their cognitive, creative, and we can have a timetable and focus on many things on a daily basis. In fact, we should write something about it on IIK and explain it further.
Great. That could be an initiative. Yes, Manoj, we should take it from here. And coming
Yes.
up to the closing up session, each one can have their own perspective and voice about the situation. And I think so. Our panel has done a wonderful job, a commendable job. Thank you, Mr. Premkumar and Dr. Navniit Gandhi,
Thank you.
for giving your valuable time and enlightening us with such valuable knowledge about this situation. I hope, for me as a parent, I have gained immensely, and hope the audience also you all have gained. And thank you for that overwhelming response, for being here with us during such time, and enlightening yourself with this knowledge. This encourages us that this journey shouldn't stop here. I feel that it's
Sure.
not just that online thing we should stop with. And with the help of panelists, we can take this offline. What do you feel, Sunoj? We should have something on the IIK website, like IIK Talks, a panel where these questions, I'm sure these questions are not going to end. The concerns are going to go on. So we should have something at the panel on IIK Forum where these people ask, and the panelists, I'm sure
Yes.
Dr. Navneet Gandhi and Mr. Premkumar would be more than happy to answer their questions. So we will take this initiative further down. And taking this further, this episode doesn't end here. There are a lot of concerns other than education, I feel, in different other fields. And audience, we want to hear from you. If you all feel what could be the next topic of discussion, you all can write to editorial@indianthinkuwait.com. So we could take this up and have one more wonderful, knowledgeable session with new panelists discussing about this current situation and solutions, providing for us this solution. So we thank the audience so much for giving us such an overwhelming response. We have done this as the solution for the present situation. And if you all have any suggestions, how did you all like this session? You all can type in just now in the chat session, or you can write to same number, editorial@indianthinkuwait.com. And once again, indianthinkuwait.com. editorial at indiansinkuwait.com. Anything else you have to say, Sunoj, before I sign off? Anything else you have to add
Thank
in?
you very much. Thank you, Dr. Navniit, and thank you, Mr.
Thank
Premkumar.
you.
And thanks
Thank
to
you,
all our
IIK.
attendees.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
this is Crawford Wilson D'Souza and Mr. Sunoj on behalf of IIK signing off for now today. Until we meet next time, stay home, stay safe. Better safe than sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Thank you, Dr.
Good
Gandhi.
night. Thank you, sir. Thank you.